For many, David, this was a foregone conclusion. Divest or be banned. Is it as simple in your mind?
I think from the national security community, it's a pretty simple issue. It is a potential threat to national security because of its reach, the way the software is, the potential to influence, but also the close relations. It is a Chinese company. And there was a report that came out just on Monday, an unclassified report on threats, a threat assessment, and China was prominently featured in that. And China's activities in the last few years have been much more aggressive. They've been working with adversaries like Russia and Iran more closely. And so I think there's real concerns, and from the national security community, it should have been done probably years ago.
Now, of course, we know that this has been considered for a long time in terms of the worries of Chinese influence. And TikTok itself, Shou Chu himself, has gone to lengths to say, look, we can alleviate that. Project Texas, for example, ensuring that Oracle is in some way facilitating the way in which data is read or indeed not transferred to China. How much have you read into, well, the ability for that to ease any of your concerns?
The fact that it's a Chinese company and still has to abide by Chinese laws, which, when push comes to shove, would require data transfers. The other major concern is their algorithm and the ability to potentially push influence messaging that we wouldn't be able to detect in real time. It would be really difficult to detect some of their longer-term influence activities if they were to shift their algorithm for more malign purposes. And that's a real concern for the national security community.
David, 170 million Americans use TikTok, and many of them like it. Are they being represented in this process?
I think the Senate's going to have its say. I think the fact that it's been delayed for a number of years and there hasn't been action, that's a testament that they have been. There's been a voice for those folks in the process. So I think we have a system of laws and rules and ways to appeal, and there's a lot of different avenues for people to have their voices heard. And I think that's a strength of the U.S. From the national security community, at least, this is sort of a no-brainer that the action should have happened a while ago.
You've worked in the State Department, the Defense Department. If this doesn't go through, what does that mean for China and the U.S.?
I'm actually a little bit concerned. If the Chinese government thinks that it can block policy action on important issues by appealing to domestic political factions or special interests, then I think that makes a more dangerous world. That may embolden the Chinese to be more aggressive, and it increases the potential for direct U.S.-China conflict in the years ahead.